I was reading the comments on my most recent Grubby Talks upload, the true value of upgrades, and I found this comment right there. Death sound tier list when? I thought that could be a pretty cool idea. So we've got our tier list here, and we've got all the sounds from the map editor where we can listen to the best death sounds. What is Blizzard's finest work in creating their death sounds? Let's jump into it and make a tier list. This isn't going to be the strength of the heroes. This is going to be the strength of their war cry. Starting with the Pitlord. You know, this guy.
You fail to amuse me. Pitiful.
Alright, let's listen to his death sound. Does he have a death sound?
What is your feeble request before me? You fail to amuse me.
Welcome back to Jaina in the Morning.
We're here with Mal Vengeroth, Hunter of Night, and his girlfriend Kim. Now, Kim, you think you're here for a makeover, right?
Yeah?
Mal, why don't you tell us why you're really here?
Well, Kim Cake, I love you, but I have something to tell you. I'm a demon. Actually, more of a Pitlord.
What? I don't understand. I thought you said you worked for the post office.
Well, I moonlight.
Okay, this isn't the Pitlord's death sound. This is the death sound of my tier list. Let's move on. Let's forget about Pitlord. Alright, let's go to the next. We go to Beastmaster. Alright, what do you think? It's a pretty good death sound. It invokes a lot of good memories of me killing Beastmasters. I've killed far more Beastmasters than I've lost. I think it's solid acting. It definitely sounds like a half orc, half ogre dying. You can hear some dropping limbs and stuff. I think it's solid. It's a solid tier B or C. It's nothing amazing, but it definitely gets the job done. Let's move on to the next hero. The next hero is going to be the Goblin Alchemist. This one should be pretty good. There's also a flag for an alternate sound, though I don't know if they put it in the game. I never heard the first part. Because it is an ogre, and it is the guy sitting on the ogre, which is a goblin, right? I always only heard the goblin. I didn't know that the ogre himself first fell. Oh no! This one's pretty good. That's a tier A death sound. It's pretty good. It's comical. By the way, notice how they flagged it in the world editor. Hero, Goblin, Alchemist. Almost like they weren't sure that they're gonna add it, and then they kind of added it as a joke because the hero's kind of like a joke. Initially, at least, like it was kind of a meme for a long time, but eventually he became useful with a couple of buffs. But that's a cool death sound. Flamelord. This took me a while to find. Apparently, Firelord is flagged as a Flamelord in the world editor. This is, by the way, the first time I've ever opened the world editor and seriously used it for anything. There's some things that are really easy to create in the world editor for most people. I just started a single player game and waited until I got the unit that I wanted to make. There's definitely more efficient ways of using the Warcraft 3 world, but I've never used the editor, so I open it and I see, hey, Firelord is the Flamelord? Okay, I guess they changed his name later. Let's find his death sound and judge it. That's pretty good. I like it. It's fast. It burns up fast. It sounds painful. That's good. That's a tier A death sound in my opinion. Next up, Tinker. By the way, did the Alchemist have a secondary death sound? Ah, maybe if he's in chemical rage, he dies while dropping a weapon. Interesting. Yeah, maybe that's why he has an alternate, because it's a different unit, like he drops his sword. Alright, Tinker. I gotta say, it is on brand for the Tinker. The Tinker is kind of a mediocre voice acting job in general. It's very nerdy, it's a bit, like, goofy.
I'm more than meets the eye. She'll hold together. That guy's nuts. Grab him! What you got? I'm all geared up. The engine's running. All systems go.
Yeah, so I think his whole job is kind of a whack job, kind of voice acting. The death, I think it's not fantastic. I'm gonna say C or D. It's kind of hard to say. I think it's D tier. Overall, his voice acting is not amazing, though. By now, of course, I love it just because of nostalgia and mere exposure. Pandaren Brewmaster. Pandaren Brewmaster is nice. It's kind of a funny way of dying as well. That's gonna be a tier A for me. I like it. Yeah, it's an open-bellied. It's maybe literally and metaphorically. It's an open-bellied kind of groan and going down of the man, the half man, half panda, or Pandaren anyway. I don't know the exact etymology of the Pandaren, the exact biology or species of the Pandaren. Alright, not bad, pretty good. Sylvanas is flagged as Sylvanus. Sylvanus Windrunner, and then later on they probably changed the name because they thought maybe there's gonna be some people immature and they're gonna run with that name and you'll get the wrong idea. That is Sylvanas? They used the archer death sound? No. She doesn't have her own death sound? Hold on a second. Wait, is this just Sylvanas but not Dark Ranger? Maybe Dark Ranger has her own? Banshee Ranger. Oh my god. Banshee Ranger. Ah, there we go. That's it. That's it. That's pretty good. I mean, there's something I like about its unnaturalness, because of course Dark Ranger is unnatural. She's been raised from the dead by Arthas to punish the elves that defended some kind of elven town, and then made into be an undead. It sounds slightly edited. It sounds electric almost. There's something synthetic to it. But I do like it. But it's a little bit ethereal, but maybe that's right for this character. I'm gonna say probably, I'll give it a B. I like it. Yeah, it sounds auto-tuned a little bit. I'm gonna give it a B anyway. I do like it. It's gonna get a pass for me. And it's very recognizable, which is also nice. So this is not really Sylvanas. That's just an archer death sound that they use there.
I am the Ranger General of this land. I can hit a bird in the eye.
Dude, Sylvanas used to sound so different than from the World of Warcraft version that we know now.
None may threaten the elf lands. You'll regret ever entering my forests. Come taste the wrath of the elves. For Quel'Thalas, I have a land to defend.
She was so vanilla and generic back here. But of course she died and then she was remade. I think that does something to your vocal cords and your mood. I don't imagine it'd be great for your mood. Alright, next up, Archmage. I think Archmage death sound is so happy. It's funny how different sounds can mean different things to some. I imagine to a human player, Archmage death sound is not great. I do slightly miss the fact that the Archmage on the horse doesn't have any opinion. He is so uppity while he's alive.
Don't you have a strategy? Your prattle begins to annoy me. You require my assistance?
You require my assistance?
What is it now?
What is it now?
Get on with it.
This had better be worth it.
For glory!
And it would have been nice to hear him die. So I'm gonna give this a C. It is a relatively generic horse. It is recognizable. This sound also gets reused by one of the Archmage Renegade Wizard creeps that you can meet on some maps. I think there's a level 5 or a level 4 or 3 Renegade Wizard from the Bandits or something that can die that has the same death sound, and it's very confusing. And it's just a horse. But I do like hearing it. This makes me happy. Good things happened. Alright, next up. They used to call this the Blood Elf. Now we know him as the Blood Mage. This is his death. Blood Elf Sorcerer Death. It's so bad, but it's also so good. I feel like it gets better every time you listen to it as well. It's good. That's a Tierlist. That's a really... But it's almost like Wilhelm's scream. That's true. But their own creation. Some kind of Wilhelm-like developer that worked at Blizzard that said, yeah, I can do the Blood Elf Sorcerer Death, no problem. Here I go. But what is the little tippity-tappity sound right before it? It sounds like a galloping horse. Choking. It sounds like steps. Oh, so he steps and then he falls over. Stumbling, yeah. Good. Oh, nice. The Hero Mountain King. The death sound, like his death scream, is as short as he is. The Mountain King has one of the least noticeable models on the battlefield because he's so small, and his death sound is small as well. Done. And then he falls over in quite a lot of cladded armor. It's a good death sound. It's quite abrupt. You immediately know what happened. I'm gonna give it a B. I like it. Next up, the Hero Paladin. That one is really good. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of regret. There's a lot of retrospective. I feel like when Paladin dies, it is so dramatic. Everything flashes before his eyes. His order's failure to curtail Arthas's ambition and misdirectedness. He's so sad about everything that happened with the leader of his order, Uther Lightbringer. Yeah, that is really good. That's a tier A for me for sure. I feel like human heroes overall die pretty well. But I might be a little biased here. Moving on to the next, there's the Naga Sea Witch. Would have been nice if she fell over with a bit of slop, like a bit of moistness, don't you think? Since she's a Naga Sea Witch, would it have been good if she like, or is it illogical because she's already on the land? But would it be good if it was kind of like a wet slap, like the way a fish sounds when you throw it on the ground? Because it sounds so tinny. It sounds very tinny, like she's not even wearing armor. She's just scales. It's not what I think scales would sound like. Don't think fish sounds moist when you throw it. Really? Could you look up a fish sound and send me the... Could you look up a fish throwing sound? Shift go and let me know since you're an expert. I don't know. I've never gone fishing. Let me slap some fish. Wait, we can check. We can check. Monty Python fish dance. It is true. It doesn't sound wet. That's true. All right, next up, Hero Demon Hunter. No, that's not it. Demon Hunter Death Alternate. Is that when he dies in Metamorphosis? I've never seen it. If that's his Metamorphosis death, I've never witnessed it because he's too strong during it. No, that's the Metamorphosis death that I know. Which, of course, I've never seen. Because it's too strong. Oh, my lie. Alleged. That's what I imagine it would sound like. All right, but your story isn't adding up. Yeah. All right. Well, we don't have to talk about who killed who during Metamorphosis. That's not what it's about. We're not ranking his Metamorphosis death. We're just looking at regular Demon Hunter. I love it. I love it. If you don't know, the Demon Hunter actually gives up on life before you can kill him. It's his final victory in life. He actually commits Sudoku with his seppuku. Sorry, I make that reference way too much. He commits seppuku with his Blades of Azeroth. Actually, I suppose the others don't have Blades of Azeroth, right? The other Demon Hunters, because this is generic Demon Hunter. It's not Illidan. But either way, they take their own life at the very end, which is why there's such a time lag between him like receiving near fatal damage and then the final scream. It's tier S. It's so good. Man, people that are addicted to magic, Demon Hunter and Bloodmage, they die so good. S+. Wonderful. Very good. Next up, Keeper of the Grove Death. I can't even do this one. It's like, there's a large exhalation of air. It's a very outwards groan. It's not internal, right? Like, but then it is also deep. It's sonorous. It's a deep, sonorous exhaling groan, and I love it. I think it's A or S. You know what? I think it's an S as well. That's a fantastic death. No, it's an A. It's not as good as Demon Hunter and Bloodmage, but definitely tier A+. Very fitting. All right, next up, Priestess of the Moon. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think it's a nice average. It's an A or a B. It's fairly, I'd say it's fairly well acted. Very obvious when she dies. It has a lot of soul to it. I think it's a B. It's a solid B. Very nice. B+, perhaps. Yeah, she seems a little surprised about it as well, because she was shadow melding. Warden. Oh, I love this one. Yeah. It's even an octave higher than I thought. It's so high. It's so good. It's very surprising. That's a tier S as well. Fantastic. Very high sound, but a very yeah, falling like a sack of potatoes after that. Thud. It's a very sudden death, for sure. Next up, Blademaster. I personally hate this sound. It's so sad. It's so sad. That's a tier D for sure. Every orc tier... I'm just gonna say it. Every orc death is tier D. You hate it because of what it means to you? Yes. They're all tier D. We're gonna listen to them, but they're tier D because they're orc deaths. Actually, TC death sound is not that bad because he comes back from reincarnation. Makes sense? Those are not all orcs. Well, these are all orcs. Yes, they are. Well, okay, he's a Tauren Chieftain, but he's part of the orc race. All right, but for real though, let's judge them for real. It's okay, but it could be like, it could be almost any orc. I think it's a C. It's okay. It's pretty good. Maybe it's a B. Okay, it's a B. It sounds good. I'm so objective about this. Next up, Farseer. I hate this sound too. It's also... It's not very characteristic. Definitely worse than Keeper. For perspective, there's a lot of air. There's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of progression. And this is just... It's very short. I don't think it's good. I actually think Farseer is tier D in the death sound. What about Shadowhunter? Kind of like the male version of Maiev of Warden. I have a feeling that when he dies, his legs went apart. Like he died in a split like this. I actually think that's how he dies in the game. It's pretty damn good. That's a tier A for me for sure. I think it's an obvious tier A. What about Tauren Chieftain? Not great either. Did orcs get shorted on death sounds? Are orc heroes underpowered when it comes to death sounds? That is at most a C and you can't tell me any different. I feel like we need to hear some good orc death sounds. Peon, for instance. And then grunts are pretty good. They're sad, but it's good. What about Bat Rider? It's something very short. Next up, CryptLord. The thing that I think really sells the CryptLord's death is his dying animation. He kind of turns in on himself the same way that spiders do when they die. He's like collapsing in on himself. And I see that while I hear that, but I can't use that as a judgment when judging the sound. It's very liquid towards the end. Did you hear that? It's kind of, yeah, there's moisture. There's serious moisture there. It's good. I think it's a good quality sound. I'm gonna give that a tier A. CryptLord dies well. Death Knight. This is cool because you can hear it's a man, but it sounds hollow. Which of course they are. They are a hollow man. And then there's nothing there. You expect something, but there's nothing there. And then you hear the horse? I don't think you hear the horse. Hoo-ah! Huawei! Huawei! Oh yeah, now I hear the horse. Yeah, the hee. I've never heard the horse that well, ever. How's the death sound for Death Knight? I think it's not great. I'm gonna give it a C or a B. What do you guys think? I think it's a C or a B. Let's go with a B then. Let's go with a B. Next up, Dreadlord.
If I have wings, why am I always walking? Imbecile. This is not a dress. It's the standard Dreadlord uniform. Yes? For the last time, I'm a Dreadlord, not a drug lord.
Alright, his death. And he vanishes in a cloud of bats. I think this is really good. It's very unique, right? Because he has a special death animation, they were able to play with it and make him sound more ethereal, otherworldly, and different. So rather than just normal death, they've managed to create a very unique sound. That's a tier S for me. Next up, Lich. This is one of the most iconic ones in the game. It is very sad, and it sounds like he calls for his mother. Mama. Not exactly, but kind of. It's a tier S. It's so good. No, it doesn't. It does if you say it often enough. It sounds like everything is leaving him, yeah. He's very surprised that he didn't get death coiled on time by the Death Knight. Wait, I already did Naga Sea Witch. I forgot to place her? I think I talked so much about fish that I maybe forgot to place her. Not very good. I'm gonna give it a C. A C or a D. I'll give it a C. The swim sound? There's the splash that I was hoping for, but I guess it only makes sense when she's in the water. Give it a C. Naga Sea Witch. The sea. Oh, okay. Last one, the Pitlord. Wait, didn't we do Pitlord already? Oh, Pitlord didn't have a death sound. That's why. I need to replicate this myself. It's not in the files. Oh, they used Kodo for Pitlord? It's the same death sound? Or does Kodo have its own death? So lazy. How did I never notice? I thought I was so good at sounds I would always recognize a duplicate flag, and all this time I did not know that the Pitlord and the Kodo have shared the same death sound. Is it lazy if nobody noticed? I mean, I didn't notice. Someone may have noticed. Nope. Let's fire up the game and double check. I can't believe it.
Our forces are under attack.
Can't hear shit with this chimera.
Our forces are under attack.
It's the same.
Our hero has fallen. What is your...
It really is the same. Oh man, so lazy. But again, is it lazy if nobody noticed? I suppose not. Alright, so how do we judge that sound? Kodo death sound, apparently. I don't think it's great. It doesn't sound like a Pitlord. I feel like this sound was recycled from another unit. That's why it doesn't sound like the Pitlord enough. It's a good sound for a Kodo, but it's not good for the Pitlord. But it is a high quality sound, so I'll put it on a C. You didn't notice it. Yeah, true. Alright, that's it. That's my death sound tier list. What do you guys want to see next? We have a couple of options. We can do an item tier list. Which items are the best to find in a melee game of Warcraft 3? Claws of Attack, Loss of Haste, Ring of Protection, Endurance, Witch Tomes, etc. Then we can do a tier list about something else. Any other ideas in chat? Tree tier list. Unit death sounds. Item tier list. Creep camp tier list. Which creep camps are best to take? Current pro player tier list. Yes! And their value as a human. A tier list. Critter tier list. Which critter is the best to get from the mechanical critter options? Which buildings to hide on the map when you've already lost? Good stuff. Wow. I'll cook longer on the ideas. Alright, let me know what you guys want to see next. Thanks for watching this one. See you next time.